On this week's episode of Quarantine Storytime, I'm here to tell you the story of the most colossal whooping ever. When I say everdom, in like everdom, ever. Nothing more colossal than this, I promise. I'm talking the type of colossal when President Obama made it into office. As in Corona shutting down America, colossal. I'm talking Jill Scott versus Erykah Badu, colossal. I'm talking Adele going from Big Bertha to Baywatch overnight, colossal. Okay, this thing was serious, I'm trying to tell you. And for those of you wondering what I am, I can tell you what I am not. I am not a bird, I'm not a plane, but I am a flying squirrel. Baby, let me tell you one thing. Melvin and Bertha believed in a lot. Okay? Education. Doing the right thing because it's right, not because somebody's watching or because they told you to. God! Spanking their kids. And when I say kick, I mean kick. Not no little tap tap neither. I mean kick. Okay? Now let me just be clear. My mama really didn't whoop me. Now she's popped me in the mouth a few times, but she ain't never really whooped me like that. My daddy, on the other hand, when I say kick, I mean kicked. I remember being in the 7th grade. Y'all remember those school pictures, those $30, $45 pictures from Olin Mills? Spring pictures. You know the ones your parents really didn't want to pay the money for, but they paid anyway because you look cute in them? Those pictures. This is the story about how I stole school pictures. Allegedly. I didn't physically steal them, but I was guilty by association. Guilty by association. The year was 2003 when Beyonce hit the scene as a solo artist singing about how crazy in love she was and had the whole nation saying, oh, no. Back when Ashanti was riding an elephant talking about some, oh, baby. I was approached by a classmate who said, hey, you want your school pictures? I can get them for you. And just like that, I was caught up. And just like the angel of death snatched up the firstborns, sis snatched up those photos, passed them to me, and I shoved them in my locker. So first period math begins, and we're halfway through the period, and one of my classmates says, hey, yo, Miss, I heard it's a girl go around stealing school pictures. You might want to check yours. I'm sitting there like... So my math teacher was like, oh my, I might need to check on that. So she proceeds to go through her box of school pictures, and she notices that mine are missing. Then she says, hey, Melvin, do you know where your pictures are? Y'all know what I said, right? Yeah. Now, deep in my heart, I knew I was gonna get it when I got home, but I was trying to weasel my way out of this. So, I come see her after class. Well, I came and saw her after class, and then she said, you know, Melvin, I'm really disappointed in you. I really expected more, but we'll do this. If you bring me those pictures before the end of the day, I will let you off the hook. As a matter of fact, if you can bring me those pictures before lunch, I'll let you off the hook. We won't tell anybody. I'm like, woo! I know where they are. So I returned the pictures, and I thought we were all good. I thought we were just gonna go through the rest of the school year off the hook. Nobody was ever gonna know anything. Baby, I got to the last period. The intercom goes off. Boop! Miss, I need Melvin Rambo to the front office, please. Y'all know how immature these middle school kids can be. Everybody was like, oh, yeah, you guessed it. Ooh, a lot of ghosts in here. So I tootsie roll down to the office, and when I walk in, I'm escorted to the administrator's office, where I am met by the administrator and the other 3 ladies involved in the shenanigans. I walked in, took my seat. Baby, if I'm nervous and I'm trembling was a person, that was me. I literally almost pants. I was nervous and I was trembling. Trembling! So Mr. says, Mr. Rambo, I need your father's cell phone number. So my head was already in the lion's mouth, so I just cooperated like the little Christian boy I was. I couldn't hear my dad on the other end of the phone, but I could only imagine the conversation went like this. Mr. Rambo, I have your son here in the office. Uh-huh. I'll let him know. Thank you for your cooperation. Again, if nervous and trembling was a person. The end result was everybody got 4 days of in-school suspension, with the exception of me because it was eluded that my father was gonna kill me when I got home. And secretly, I knew I was toast when I got home. And I don't mean French. So being a young flying squirrel at the time, I flew home. On that yellow thing they call a school bus, baby, I walked in. Bertha looked at me with a look of disdain. My mama was not pleased. She had an after-school program that we were supposed to go to, so she told me to go ahead and jump in the shower. Those after-shower whoopings were the worst. The worst. In a Janae Aiko kind of way. It was a trap. Because, baby, just as soon as I got out of the shower, my daddy said, get in the room. Needless to say, if beat you like a Hebrew slave was a person, I was the Hebrew slave. I got this waxed, okay? But wait, there's more. We still had to go to the after school program. I was pissed, humiliated, embarrassed. But to be totally honest, I probably couldn't have been more embarrassed than my parents were. I mean, their oldest child did get caught, so to speak, stealing school pictures. But wait, there's more. So after the initial embarrassment of having to go to this school program and be around people after you just got your ass waxed, I still had a punishment to serve. Baby, I was on punishment so long I thought I was never gonna get off. That punishment lasted all summer. And see, I don't know nothing about you new parents, but I know when my parents made a promise, they kept it. But wait, there's more. Every single time one of my friends came over to the house, the conversation went just like this. Hi, Mr. Rambo. Can Melvin come outside to play? No, I don't think that's a good idea. My son has subscribed to theft. Those aren't the type of people you need in your corner. Have a good day. You got the people out here thinking I'm a common criminal. Meanwhile, I'm looking like Rita with a tude, Rita Watson from Sister Act 2. I was pissed. But after that level of embarrassment, I never stole again. Hell, after that level of embarrassment, you'd be afraid to even do wrong. I served my 4-day sentence in school suspension, and eventually I did get off punishment. And life went back to normal until the time I almost went to jail. But that's for next week's episode. Bye-doo.